You've probably heard people talk about the millennium, this 1,000-year period. Does it come before the return of Christ? Does it come after the return of Christ? Is there no such thing as a millennium? And it all comes from this 20th chapter of the book of Revelation, Revelation 20. And here we get a bunch of things. We get the millennium, we get the binding of Satan, we get the judgment of the throne. And I want to suggest that if you're looking at this passage and the thing you come out of it with is some idea that the millennium has to happen at a certain time, you've really misunderstood it. So let's look at it for a moment together. So chapter 20 begins with the binding of Satan. The angel comes out, binds Satan, throws him into the abyss, locks the chains. Okay, binding, loosing. This is the theme of the chapter. Okay, next thing happens, thrones are set up, they're set up for judgment, and the people of God are brought back to life for their judgment. So they are, this is the metaphor I think you need to see, they are released from the bondage of death, the binding of death, to be resurrected to face the judgment of the great white throne. And they are justified by Christ at that point. Now, who's the next person to be released? Satan is then released. He's also released from his bondage, and he is immediately judged. He wages his war. The war lasts about a millisecond, and he's thrown into the lake of fire. So you're released from bondage to be judged. The Christians are released from their bondage to death to be judged, and we're judged virtuous because of the work of Christ. Satan's released from his bondage, and he's judged, and he's thrown into the lake of fire. And then there's another judgment. This is the end of the chapter. All the rest of the dead are raised up. They're judged according to their works, and they also are judged. Okay? And it talks about the sea giving up its dead, and death and Hades giving up its dead. And then in the end, death and Hades are thrown into the lake of fire because there's nowhere else to go after this judgment. You can't go back to those places of bondage. They've been released. So, this passage, chapter 20, is not about the binding of Satan. It's not about these other things. It's about the judgment that comes at the end of time when all the places of the dead release their dead. Sheol, the sea, the grave, everything releases its dead to the judgment of God. Satan is released from his bondages to the judgment of God. Everything gets judged according to its deeds and according to whether your name is written in the book of life. And if your name's in the book of life, congratulations, you get to spend it with the king. If it's not written in the book of life, I'm sorry, you're cast into outer darkness with the evil one. Great place to be? No, I don't think so. So, chapter 20, if you're reading this and you're hearing this and you're thinking about, but when does this 1,000-year chunk fit? You've missed the point. The point is, God judges. He judges all of reality. He judges humans. He judges spirits. He judges the world, and his judgments are just. Whether they come tomorrow or in 1,000 years, doesn't matter. Okay? Revelation chapter 20, a challenge from the book of John.